Module 6, Pre-Construction. This module outlines the basic techniques used by the construction inspector to document the necessary information required by the construction and reclamation contracts with the department. Pre-construction starts at the pre-bid conference and ends when the contractor receives the notice to proceed. The sequence is broken into 5 sections: pre-bid conference, pre-construction conference, forms and submittal review, pre-construction inspection, and the notice to proceed. The pre-bid conference is a required on-site meeting with all potential contractors interested in bidding on and completing the reclamation project, the consultant which designed the project, and all department members related to the project. Landowners need to be invited to the meeting but are not required to attend. This meeting will be organized and presided over by the consultant's project manager, who is responsible for explaining the design concepts, reclamation plan objectives, conveying all project requirements and/or limitations, and answering any questions regarding the project. If a question is unable to be answered, it will be the consultant's responsibility to take the necessary steps to determine the appropriate answer. The consultant will be responsible for drafting the official addendum for approval by the department. It must include all questions and answers, be attached to the design plan, and provided to the contractors before the start of the bidding process. The consultant will work with the department on any questions with the addendum process. Once the addendum is finalized, any changes made to it will supersede any detail or specification outlined in the original design plan. Inspectors are responsible for attending, videotaping, and ensuring all contractors have signed into the pre-bid conference. All recordings must have clear audio, and all questions and answers must be recorded. The recordings must be uploaded onto AML-Net within 48 hours. The pre-construction conference is an in-person meeting with the contractor who has awarded the contract, the contractor's project superintendent and any other relevant staff, the consultant, and the department members related to the project. Landowners need to be invited to this meeting but are not required to attend. This meeting is organized and presided over by the consultant's project manager. Inspectors are responsible for attending and videotaping the meeting. All recordings must have clear audio and all questions and answers must be recorded. The recordings must be uploaded into AML-Net within 48 hours. During this meeting, the consultant and the contractor will establish a notice to proceed date for when construction can begin. The consultant will reiterate the design concepts, reclamation plan objectives, and convey all project requirements and/or limitations. It will provide the contractor 3 copies of the design plans at full scale, 3 copies of the specification books, 1 copy of the stormwater pollution prevention plan, 1 copy of the groundwater protection plan, 1 digital version of the AutoCAD files utilized for layout on the project, 1 digital version of the weekly quantity summary and daily activity summary forms, 1 digital version of a waste borrow agreement form, and 1 copy of each permit required for the completion of the project. The contractor will provide a list of submittals for review and approval. This list shall consist of, but not be limited to, vendors, suppliers, proposed subcontractors, shop drawings, proposed substitutions of materials, equipment list, employee list including the names and titles, workflow chart, and dewatering plan if applicable. The consultant and inspector are responsible for ensuring all materials and substitutions provided match the requirements for construction items. The consultant is responsible to ensure all proposed subcontractors are in good standing with the state of West Virginia by completing the Applicant Violator System Report. This report must be approved before any subcontractor completes any work on any project. Skipping this report could result in non-payment for services provided. The consultant must also ensure that the contractor complies with all applicable laws, including the Davis-Bacon Act, Build America, Buy America, and any other legal requirements. The Davis-Bacon Act requires certified payroll. Build America, Buy America requires documentation showing that certain materials are produced in America. Surveys will need to be performed at regular intervals to determine how many employees for both the consultant and the contractor are former employees of the mining industry as part of funding requirements. Inspectors are required to keep one copy of every document provided to the contractor or from the contractor at the pre-construction conference on site. These documents will be used to answer questions or make necessary field adjustments as construction progresses. Documents may be in digital form, but must not rely on an internet connection to be viewable. Here are the most common forms you will need. Not all of them may be required. Inspectors must have contact information, phone and email, for the contractor's superintendent and on-site foreman, the department construction representative and project manager, and a contact person for all landowners. The inspector will conduct a pre-construction inspection after the pre-construction conference at least 1 week prior to the notice to proceed date. Inspectors are responsible for understanding how the reclamation work will be completed. This inspection should document any existing site conditions or any changes to the project area since the pre-bid conference. It should note any utilities or potential hazards not identified on the design plans, establish locations for the placement of time-lapse cameras, and take pre-construction photos. It is important to understand the reclamation goals for the project. Pictures should convey all the work completed. These photos will be used for both promotional and educational presentations when the reclamation is completed. The final step is to complete an inspection in AMLnet and upload all photos. Please remember we are guests on these properties, and we must protect our landowners and their belongings. The notice to proceed date established at the pre-construction conference will represent the start of construction and the end of the pre-construction sequence. Please take a moment to compile any questions you have for this module.